Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. It's Jo here. I hope you're all well and had a wonderful weekend. I spent the weekend making these candlesticks. They took a little bit longer to make, so the video wasn't up on Friday, but I made them to match my heart wreath or wall decor that I made out of an old chopping board that I picked up from a charity shop. So if you're new here, I'm Jo. I do craft videos. I do 3 a week. I do a Poundland haul every fortnight, and I also show my charity shop finds because I do like a good look around the charity shops. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you leave a comment, I'll always reply. And if you've not subscribed and you want to see more from me and you do like your craft videos, then I do 3 a week, so there is a lot of content. If you're returning, as always, my friends, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for spending some time with me today. It really does mean the world to me, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for everything that you do, all the lovely comments you leave, and yeah, let's get into it. So for today's craft, I'm using some of the lollipop sticks or popsicle sticks or craft sticks. I get mine from Poundland. I get 100 in a pack, and you're going to need a couple of packs if you're making 2 candlesticks. And then I'm also using a gift bag that I used in my heart board, as well as this is from Poundland also. Then I'm using a mixture of leaves and foliage that I get from my local market that I pay £1 a bunch for. Then I was going to use some white paint, but in the end I didn't, but I did use some rope that I also picked up from another pound shop. And then for the sparkly trim, I'm using an old top that I picked up in a charity shop that I'm going to cut up and use that. I do like to recycle. So yeah, you'll also need a glue gun, a pair of scissors, a pair of tweezers, a pair of wire cutters, a pen, a ruler, and I think that's everything. So we'll get into the video. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of the craft sticks to create the base and the top of the candlesticks, and I'm going to glue 2 horizontal sticks to a vertical stick, and I'm just going to make sure that they are about 1 inch away from the top of the stick at the top and the bottom, and this is because we need some space to put our columns once we make them. And now I'm just going to stick craft sticks all the way across until I get near the end, and I will be back once I've done that. So now we're near the end, I'm just going to use some wire cutters, and I'm just going to score the sticks that are overhanging, and then I'm going to use some scissors to cut them. And then I'm going to stick our last stick in place. Now you're not going to see these, so it doesn't matter about them being as neatly together as I normally do them. So you can use your ones that are a little bit bent because you're not going to see them. So now that I've done one, I'm going to do another one exactly the same. So we've got 2 where we've got 1 inch gap or more than 1 inch gap at the top and the bottom. And now I'm going to do 2 where the sticks are closer to the ends. So exactly the same, I'm going to take 1 vertical stick and glue 2 horizontal sticks in place. And I'm going to do exactly the same as we did with the other ones. I'm going to go towards the end and then cut the excess off and then glue the last one in place, and I'm going to do 2 of these, so we'll have 4 in total. So now we've got our 2 tops and our 2 bottoms. I'm now going to add a stick around the edge of all 4. I'm just going to add some glue and then place a stick on the end. And we're going to go around the whole edges of all 4 of them. So we've got our 2 tops and our 2 bottoms, and we're going to work on the 2 bottoms. Now the 2 bottom ones are the ones where the sticks are right at the end, and this is because we're going to fill them in now. So we're going to just glue sticks across the 2 vertical sticks that are already in place, and this is just to give us a flat surface. So I'm just going to keep going along until we filled the bottom in. And then we're going to do exactly the same on the other one as well. So now we can start to build our columns. So I'm going to take 2 sticks and then I'm just going to mark a small section of another stick. And then cut that. And then glue it in place over the gap of the 2 sticks. And then I'm going to do the same again a little bit further down. Like so, and we're going to do 4 of these for the first section of our column. So we've got 4 and now we're going to glue these together. So we're going to glue them together like so, and then we're going to stick the next one on the other side. And then we're going to stick the last one at the back as well. So this is our first column and you'll need 8 of these for each of the candlesticks. So I made 16. So if you're only making 1 candlestick, you'll only need 8. But if you're going to make 2, you'll need 16. So I've made my 16 little tubes and now we're going to glue these together. So I'm just going to take 2 and I'm just going to place them one above the other and making sure that they are nice and straight. And now I'm just going to take another craft stick. I'm going to trim off the end so that we've got a straight edge. And then I'm going to mark off with a pen where we need to cut. And then I'm just going to cut that section. Now you don't need to worry about them being too neat, these, just because we're going to be covering them with whatever you decide to use as edging. I'm using, like I said, the diamante top that I'm going to cut up. So once I've got my section, I'm just going to put a decent amount of glue on the back of this. And then glue it over the 2 ends of the tubes that we've made so that we're gluing them together. Then I'm going to work my way around and do all 4 sides. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm just going to take a piece of craft stick, mark and then cut. And then continue to work my way around. And we're going to do this with all of our 16 tubes so that we've got 8 long columns. So now we've got our 8 columns, we can start to decorate them. So I'm going to use the gift bag that I got from Poundland. I've still got some left from when I did my heart. And I'm just going to measure my section at the bottom. And it ended up being 4 inches long by just under 2 centimetres wide. And then I'm just going to measure that out on the back of the paper that I'm using. And we're going to have to do quite a lot of these. So I'm just going to measure 4 inches down and then just under 2 centimeters across. And then I'm going to cut a few of them out and I will be back. So I've done a few to start off with, and now I'm just going to glue these in place using the hot glue gun, and I'm going to stick one at the bottom, making sure that it is close as it possibly can be to the center where we glued the sticks around the middle. And then I'm going to do the same to the top of the column. And because I'm putting edging, or I'm going to put the diamantes around the sides, it doesn't matter too much about it being right to the end. And then I'm going to add one to the top as well. And we're basically going to cover every section of the columns, top and bottom, with the paper. So now that all the paper is stuck on all the way around, we can start to add the decorations. So I've cut up some of the top already. Obviously, if you've got something that you can use, then you don't have to do this, but I've just cut it into smaller sections. And this is what I'm going to use to decorate around the edges of the columns. And I'm just going to work my way around and do each side. And I'm just going to add glue all the way down to make sure that it's stuck in place. And I'm going to do every single side of the column. So I've done the first one, I've done every single side at the top and the bottom, and now I'm just going to add a section around the middle. So I've cut a thicker strip to hide our piece of wood that's in the center, and I'm just going to glue that all the way round. And then I'm going to do that with all 8, and I'll be back. So they're all finished now, and I've added some strips around the bottom and the top to finish it off, and we can start to build our candlesticks. So I'm going to take the 2 bases, and the bases are the ones where we glued the sticks inside at the beginning. And this was to create a flat surface so that we could put the candle in. And I'm just measuring it, and it's just under 11 centimeters high and 11 centimeters wide. So now I'm going to draw 2 squares on some more of the gift wrap, well, the gift bag that we've got left over, and cut them out. And this is what we're going to use to cover our sticks. So I'm just going to take that first square, I'm going to turn it over, and then we're going to mark off where we need to cut. So I'm just taking one of the columns and I'm going to use it as a reference, and I'm just going to mark in the corner where we're going to be sticking it. And I'm going to do that on each corner. And this is because we're going to cut this piece of paper out so that we can actually stick the column to the craft sticks and not to the paper. And then I'm just going to use a ruler and quickly join up the markings that we've just made. And then I'm going to cut them out. And I'm going to do that with both squares of the gift bag that we cut out. And then we can stick these in our base of our candlestick. So I'm just going to use hot glue to stick them down. And then to finish them off, before we start to build the candlesticks, I'm just going to use some of the rope. I'm going to start at the back of the candlestick and just glue it in place. So I'm just going to work my way all the way around the edge, and then I'm going to do another row of the rope as well. And I'm going to do that with both of the bases. So I've added the rope round the bottom, and now we can stick our columns in place. So I'm just going to make sure that I know which is the back and which is the front. And then I'm just going to add a decent amount of hot glue to the base of the column. And then stick that in place and hold until it dries. And then once it's dried, we can start to do the other ones that are left. So I'm going to glue them all in place, and I will be back when all 8 columns are stuck down. So they're all in place, and now we can add our tops. So I'm going to take the first top, and this should fit nicely and neatly over the tops of the columns. I'm just going to add a decent amount of glue to each of the column. And then I'm going to stick our top of the candlestick on. And then I'm just going to make sure that the columns are nice and in the corners of the top section before it dries. And then I'm going to do exactly the same to the other candlestick. So we've got the base of our candlesticks done, and now we can start to decorate them. So I'm going to use some of the candles that I got from Poundland, and these are only for display. I'm not going to be burning these, but these are the pillar candles. So I picked up 4. I'm going to use 1 for the top of each candlestick. And then for decorating, I'm going to start with my foliage. I'm going to start by adding one large leaf to each corner of the candlestick. And I'm going to do exactly the same on both of them. So I'm going to put one on each corner. And now, just to make them drape down slightly so they're not just completely sticking out, I'm just going to bend them slightly over and glue them to the front of the candlestick. And I'm just going to do that all the way around each candlestick. So now I'm happy with the leaves. I'm going to take some of this other green foliage that I've got, and I'm going to pop one in each corner of the candlestick. Just using a little bit of hot glue. And then I'm going to add some more green foliage up the side of the candles, and I'm going to just glue these in place at the base and pop a little bit on the leaf at the top so that they stand up. And then to help these stand up a little bit better, I'm going to add a white flower in front of it just to help keep it upright. Like so. And I'm going to do that on each corner. And I'm going to do exactly the same to each candlestick to make sure that they match. And then we're nearly done. So the last two things I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of this Lily of the Valley, and I'm going to just put a section in between each of the white flowers on each side. And then in between each of the white flowers, just where we've put the Lily of the Valley, I'm going to add one of the blue roses. And then we're done. And here they are. So I've added a candle to the base as well, and then obviously the candles at the top. Like I said, I won't be burning these are just for display. If I can get some battery powered ones, then I will change them out and put the battery ones in, but I absolutely love these. And yeah, I'm really happy. It did take a while to stick all the gems on. That's why the video wasn't up on Friday. It took way longer than I thought it would because I had to cut them all as well. But yeah, I absolutely love them. I love how they've turned out, and I cannot wait to find a place for them in my flat. So I will see you on Wednesday for Wednesday craft video, which will be an Easter one. And yeah, take care for now, guys. Love you loads. Bye.